Check 1 2. Check 1 2. If you are, in fact, within an earshot of my melodious voice, then that can only mean one thing and one thing only, folks. You are now in tuned for another glorious episode of the one and only. Yes, the one and only. Can you dig it? Episode of the one and only Dignified Bastard Podcast. Go ahead and clap. Yes. Go ahead and clap. Yeah, express yourself, man. Get them applauses out the way. Clap for yourselves while you're at it. Give yourselves a round of applause for just being here, man. Being grateful. I'm grateful that you are here. I'm grateful to be here too, man. Welcome back. Today's mathematics is what? Juno, the 29th, right? 2023, which is according to Supreme Mathematics, Wisdom Born. Today's mathematics is Wisdom Born. Wisdom is born through the proper application of knowledge and the activation of understanding. Yeah, that's right. What I need from you is to understand that we're going to rock out for about an hour. Yeah, we're going to rock out for about an hour, man. You know what I'm saying? I like to do 2 episodes of the Dignified Bastard Podcast about twice a month at a bare minimum. You know what I mean? I like to do an episode at the beginning of the month and on the tail end, because by then we can kind of see full circle how things unfolded and were revealed to us within that time span of about a month, right? So let's dig in, man. Let's dig in, and I hope you guys are doing well out there. Hope everybody's healthy, all right? And that's internally as well as externally, right? I hope that all is well, right? I hope that you are living your best life, enjoying your summer, doing whatever it is that you do. Now let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. Got so many things going on. And we're going to touch on a few things. But first and foremost, let me go ahead and make this announcement right now. The views and opinions that you hear on the Dignified Bastard Podcast are mine and mine alone. They are not influenced or enhanced or inspired by any other individual, podcast, or social media or media news outlet sources. All right? What you getting? Yeah. Clap that up. You welcome. What you getting, right? It's that uncut, raw, very opinionated, vantage points from me, myself, and I, you know what I'm saying? The true Trinity, right? And as always, man, if this is your first time here, let me go ahead and introduce myself, because I don't want to assume, right, that everybody listening are faithful listeners to the Dignified Bastard Podcast. So, to all those new listeners, subscribers to the Dignified Bastard Podcast, what up? My name is the Junkyard Jedi. That's right. The Junkyard Jedi. That's right. come to balance the force. Let's balance this force, man. And before we get to anything, let me specifically make it known what my intentions are for this particular episode today. Using my own life as the multicolored tapestry for teaching tools and teaching and learning opportunities, I'm gonna say this. This episode right here, right, was inspired musically, right, by the song Superstar by Roberta Flack. All right. Shout out to Roberta Flack. All right. And it's interesting, right, that I was led to do an episode and influenced by a song entitled Superstar, because as you know, as you should know, about 8 days ago, right? About 8 days ago, something astrological happened. I mean, something is always happening, quote unquote, in the stars, but something happened that was vitally important, right? Something that I think we should recognize, right? June 21st, summer began, right? And also the summer solstice began, all right? Yeah. Summer solstice began. What does that mean, Junkyard Jedi? Well, what that means, loyal listener, right, whom I love so much, loyal listener, what that means is that the sun, yes, that huge big old ball of fire in the sky, right, that we refer to as the sun, is at its height, right? It's at its height. So we are getting a significant amount of light on the planet, right? More so than usual, heating things up, charging some things, all right? Charging some things, magnifying, radiating, illuminating, right? Right? Illuminating the wisdom that is born through the proper application of knowledge and the activation of understanding that you, right? You, me, I, we, right? We are created in the image and the likeness of Supreme Consciousness. Y'all thought I was gonna say Supreme Clientele. That is a dope album by Ghostface, but it ain't what I'm talking about right now. Right? I'm talking about us being shaped, formed, and made in the image, the exact image and likeness of the Supreme Consciousness. All right? Consciousness supreme. So, with that being said, all right, this episode is dedicated. Well, let me just say this. The purpose of this episode is to encourage all those, right, who are new to the path of awakening. Right? I'm not sure if I did one of these episodes before. I think I did. Right? But right now, I want to speak directly to those individuals, right, who are new to the path of enlightenment, right, that have recently decided to take their destiny in their own hands and awaken to the authority and the sovereignty of their own soul, baby. You know what I mean? That's who I'm talking to today. right? I want to talk to you and you and you and you and you, right? Those individuals new, or maybe not so new, but who are fresh, right? On the path, right? To their own self-deification. That's who I want to talk to. I want to talk to you, all right? I want to talk to you sincerely, because not enough attention is given to those individuals who have been ostracized by their families. All right, let's be real. Let's be real for a minute, right? Let's dig in. Wisdom born. Wisdom born. 29. That's 11, right? That's 11. Talking about a master number, right? 11, life path is the life path of the healer, according to numerology, right? The healer. When you think of the healer, you think of people like who, right? Jesus, right? Jesus, right? And why does this connect? Why does this make sense, right? Because much like the big Jesus, right? You're going to have to do some healing of your own, right? You're going to have to do some healing of your own. Let's talk about this path of enlightenment, right? Let's talk about this path of enlightenment today, all right? It's a lonely path. And the reason why I use specifically not the phrase path to enlightenment, but path of enlightenment, because path to enlightenment, denotes the concept that you are somehow seeing enlightenment as a destination, right? Whereas the path of enlightenment is a path of individuation, right? Because the path of enlightenment is the path that is taken by who? The enlightened individual. All right? That's what the difference is, folks. Let's not get caught up, tripped up in the misdirection, right? The misinformation or the disinformation, right? So that's one of the things that'll help you out, understanding what the differences are, right, in the language. Because right now, everything is so saturated, quote unquote, new age, spirituality, right? The new wave, the new movement, the new this, the new that, the new shea butter, the new body oil, the new crystals, the new look. None of this shit is new. I'll be real with you. None of it is new, right? None of it is new. All right? That's what I want to leave you with, right? None of this is new. You are new to it. You are reawakening to your divinity, your individual divinity, id, right? You're awakening to your individual divinity, right? Not anything else other than your individual divinity. That's what you are awakening to, right? On a path of enlightenment. Not to, right? You're not You're not jumping in the car, turning on your GPS, trying to get to a specific location. You're not. It's not what you're doing. All right? Let's slow this thing down. Let's dial it back a little bit, right? Because there's folks out there hurting. I know it is. It's folks out there hurting. And the reason why, right? The reason why folks are hurting is because, in my humble opinion, in my most humblest opinion, right? So much has been just kind of incessantly spewed, right, and misconstrued about this particular path, man. Right? See, let's be real, man. Religion is easy. Religion is easy. I don't know how else to put it. Religion is easy. When I was a Christian, right? I thought like a Christian. Hold on. Hold on. Well, what you mean, Junkyard? When I was a Christian, I thought like a Christian, right? I ran everything through the filter of faith, right? Because that's what Christianity, that is one of the main tenets of Christianity, right? It's faith. But what you don't realize, or what you are never taught to realize while in the religion of Christianity, is that faith is something that comes from an inner reserve, right? Has nothing to do wholeheartedly with a particular religion, right? Faith is a component of hope, right? Belief, right? Things of that nature. And I'm not going to be like some people who say, well, you know, faith and belief, you know, they get rid of those, you know, because once again, using myself as an example, as a main example, when I was introduced to this particular path of apotheosis, or whatever, self-realization, self-deification, you know, I heard it all the time. Get rid of faith, right? Get rid of belief, right? Get rid of belief. You need knowledge. That's what you need. Get rid of hope. And I get it. I can break out the dictionary, thesaurus, and get into the whole etymology and the breakdown of these particular words. But it's all for naught. Because at the end of the day, you, right? You, the individual, is going to define how important faith, belief, hope are for you, right? Right? You're going to decide what that means, right? You're going to ultimately decide what the value of those particular things are. If those components, right? If those components of faith, hope, belief are important to you, and you understand why they are important to you, then, okay, there's no need to abandon them if they are working for you, okay? If they working for you, no need to abandon them. But let's be clear. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Jumping out of the frying pan, right, of religion and into, you know what I mean, the fire, right, of spirituality, you're going to go through, you know, a series of processes where it's going to feel like you are not moving, you're not making any progress, right? You're going to be hurt. You're going to be emotionally drained. You're going to be physically drained. You're going to be mentally drained, right? You're going to complain. You're going to purge. You're going to cry. You're going to doubt. You're going to have regret, right? You're going to lose friends. I'm just being real. And if you are, let's just say, 2 years in, right? If you 2 years in to moving towards or moving forward or just moving, right? If you're in what's called the ascension process, right? Then you know, right? You know what I'm talking about. Once again, using myself for an example, I remember being introduced to ways of thinking that challenged everything that I thought I knew, everything that I thought that I understood, right? My faith was challenged. My beliefs were challenged. My hope was challenged, right? Right? I said it before on this podcast that our change is in the challenge, right? Maybe I'll do a whole etymology episode breaking down certain terms, words, phrases, and showing you their occult symbology, their messages hidden within them, right? Even within the code of the alphabet. The reason why it's 26 letters, the reason why, you know what I mean, vowels came later, right? The reason why all of this was very specific, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Don't want to, jump out there too quick when it comes to that stuff. All right? But all of your senses, all of your sensibilities are going to be challenged. May I submit to you that you should welcome those challenges, because it's through those challenges that you will change and you will ultimately grow, right, into who it is that you are meant to be, right? That's a huge difference between you and your false ego self, right? Which is another reason for the hardships, the many, many hardships that people experience on the path of enlightenment are due to what's called the false ego death. All right? The false ego death, right? You hear it all the time. I've even spoken about it from time to time on this very podcast. People, go out on these ayahuasca trips. They take mushrooms, ketamine, LSD, all kind of stuff. You did all types of mushrooms and whatnot, psychedelics that somehow offer awakening or opportunities to access other states of consciousness, right? That allow people to tap into universal source Then and only then do some of them get to see how all things are connected, directly as well as indirectly. And for a lot of people, this is a life-altering event, right? They take their first DMT trip, ayahuasca, LSD, what have you, psilocybin, magic mushrooms, whatever you want to use, right? Let's just say psychedelic, right? And what do they find out, right? Where do they find out? That we are literally inside the quote unquote mind of God, right? And that our minds and the mind of God, right? The supreme consciousness, right? The energetic source of it all, right? Are one and the same, linked forever. Man, why I can't talk? That's how you know I'm flowing, when my lips get tongue-tied and shit. Forever. Forever. I said forever. That's right. Infinite. The infinite consciousness, the supreme source energy of all this shit, right? We are linked to that particular entity, energy, by our subconscious, right? Which is the key to all this, right? It's the master key to your manifestation, your subconscious mind, right? Your subconscious mind. It's the key to all of this, right? So, once again, be encouraged, right? Be encouraged, because you're going to constantly have to remind yourself in the beginning, right? When you begin on this path of enlightenment, you're going to have to constantly remind yourself that you are God, right? You are generator, operator, destroyer. You're not the false God, right? Not the false God from the Bible. You're not on some Yahweh Vahe shit, right? Because even that particular deity, that particular energy, right? The way that it was drawn up and written, right? The way that it was drawn up and written was to still confuse you in thinking that it was something outside of you. The reason why you had a hard time connecting to Yahweh, Yahweh Vahe, and all that good shit, the reason why you had such a good time, let's be real, such a hard time connecting to that energy, is because that ain't you. That's not you. That's not generator, operator, destroyer, right? That is a child that was torn away from its mother, right? So it doesn't have the components necessary, right? It doesn't have all of the components necessary, right, to direct you wholeheartedly. Let me break that down, all right, because I almost got lost. But let me break that down, because like I said, I like to use practical information, practical means to break down and simplify, right, difficult things, so that people can understand what this path is about, right? That's what it is. That's what it is. For you to understand what this path is about, you're going to have to understand, right? You're going to have to know you, first of all, right? First and foremost, know thyself, Know thyself, first of all, right? That's what it is. Before you call yourself magnetic Allah Supreme, or you dig what I'm saying? Lord Magnetic, and I'm not making fun of people who take on, these identities and shit, these names. Hell, Junkyard Jedi is a character, right? But this character, this projection, right, is an extension of my true authentic self. I think of myself as a real Jedi, right? A real Jedi, right? Kind of like the Magi back in the day, right? Priesthood, a royal priesthood, responsible for not necessarily showing the way to the masses, right? But showing the masses the way by walking the way, by living the way. Kind of like Taoism. The Tao, loosely translated, means the way. That's it. The way. Right? Even when you deal with Kabbalah, going up the 32 paths to wisdom and whatnot. Right? 32 paths to wisdom. There's not one better than the other one. Right? It's not one path that is chosen over the next, right? Because at the end of the day, I've said this before, at the end of the day, it's not about anybody else's experience but yours. What we are assigned to do is to look at each other like mirror reflections, right? See ourselves in our brother, in our sister, right? Appreciate and give gratitude for that emanation of prime creator or source creation, or, source energy. Give thanks and praise, even if it's something as small as a stranger smiling at you. And it sounds corny, it sounds cliche, but let's be for real. Let's be for real. We're going to have to learn how to get back to being gracious, right? But that can only come through what? Knowing thyself. See, I know myself, and I know that my life has a certain harmonious rhythm to it when I treat myself well. Because when I treat myself well, I will in turn treat everyone else outside of me well. Beginning with my family, my immediate family, my wife and kids, boom, right? I treat me better. They get treated better, right? I'm automatically thinking service to others. Every day I get up. Every day my feet hit the floor, right? Yeah, I might have to meditate every day. I might have to get that hour in of, God time, that God hour, that me time. You dig? While I'm studying, I'm writing, I'm chanting, I'm doing whatever I'm doing to conjure up inner energy to project to the outside world, right? And let me tell you something that a lot of you may not know. Some of us have to do more heavy lifting than others. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't have to do as much meditation. Some people don't have to do that many spiritual baths or whatever. They may not have to do altar work as much as you, right? Some people just like a friendly game of basketball. Some people got more skill than others, when it comes to certain things, and that's okay. Right? We can get into comparison. We can get into feeling like we ain't good enough. We can get into not feeling the self-love and compassion that it takes, right? That it takes for you to leave the house every day. But I got good news for you, right? Well, I ain't going to say it's good news, right? Because I try not to deal with good and bad. I'm going to say I got news for you. I got news for you. I got some good news. Well, it's good to me, so shit. But I got news for you. News is, first and foremost, going back to the 7, right? The 7 foundational laws of the universe, not the only 7 foundational laws of the universe. The first one being what? The principle of mentalism. Mentalism. What do you think of yourself? Right? The universe is all is mental. All is mental. Everything begins with a thought. Everything begins in the mind. Right? Everything begins in the mind. Right? Some of us, got real spiritual, deep parents and whatnot. Some of us, not all of us, some of us. And those of us who are, in fact, blessed with spiritual parents, if you ever talk to them, they'll let you know. They'll let you know a lot of times, if you get them enough, I don't know what old cats like to drink. You get them enough, what's that? You get them enough Cavassier and cognac. Some whiskey, you know what I mean? Maybe some wine sometimes, right? Get them in the right mood. They'll let you know, right? They'll let you know, especially if your parents was in love, right? If your parents was in love when you was conceived, you know how you can tell? Because they'll always tell you about it. They'll always talk about what it was like when you were born. Right? Especially if your parents was in love. So, with that being said, you was in your mother's and your father's mind. They saw you, right? Long before ultrasounds became commonplace. They saw you. They saw your eyes. They saw your nose, right? They saw your smile, right? They saw you in their mind, right? Remember, the universe is mental. All is mental. We are all, quote unquote, inhabiting the mind of God, so to speak. Right? You see their eyes every day. You just don't realize it. The sun is one eye, the moon is another. You dig what I'm saying? If you want to attach those particular concepts to something physical, right? For some of us, that's what we have to do in the beginning. Why? It makes sense because our physical senses are what connects us to the physical world, the solid, or the world of material, the world of solid matter, right? Mother principle. The reason why matter is part of the mother. I sound like my 8-year-old son. He can't say mother to save his life. He said mother. But the reason why matter is symbolic to the mother principle is because matter is how things take solid shape in the world, right? You took solid shape within the womb of your mother, right? But before you can take solid shape, before you took solid shape, you were in your mother's mind. You were in your father's mind, right? This is the power of thought. This is the power of mental magic. The universe is mental, right? Elemental. L. Anytime you see an L, you talking about God. You talking about God power, right? Right? Elemental, elements. Right? Elemental magic you hear sometimes in the occult circles and esoteric teachings and whatnot. Elemental magic. Working with fire, water, air, earth, ether. All right? Sorry about that. Drop my little staff and shit. Every good teacher, every good student should have a staff, especially a staff you can use, right? Make you feel like you are that sage, that student, right? Because you can't be one without being the other. So you have to be able to embody both of the energies of student and teacher, teacher and student, right? Know thyself, right? What did I say wisdom was? Wisdom is born through the proper application of knowledge and the activation of understanding. All right? Application of knowledge and the activation of understanding. This is how you know you, right? This is how you get to a place where you can co-create with the supreme consciousness, right? Because that's what it is. But before you can get to that stage, you're going to pass through. Notice what I said. Not stay in. Pass through. You're going to pass through those stages, right? And elevate and ascend. And sometimes, turn to your neighbor and say, sometimes it's going to get hard. It's going to get challenging. You're going to be in states of uncertainty, states of emotional confusion, right? You're going to be in those states. That's okay. All right, beloved? That's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. Take a breather. Take a breather. Calm down. Ground yourself. Go outside. Stick your feet in the bare earth, right? Get some of that electromagnetic energy, right? Tap into the ionosphere, right? Tap into the elements, right? Tap into all that shit because you are composed of it all. You are composed of it all. You're not separated from anything. This is my message of encouragement to those newbies on this path of enlightenment, right? Not to enlightenment, but path of enlightenment. Can I get a witness? You dig what I'm saying? Today's mathematics, once again, wisdom born. Wisdom is only born through the proper application of knowledge and the activation of understanding. What I need from your ass is understanding. Tell him, Mike. That's right. Shit. We're going to help y'all out, man. We're going to help y'all out. Right? We're going to help y'all out because it is what it is. Let me cook. It is what it is. You look around, you see distraction after distraction, right? You see attraction after attraction. You see disruption, eruption, confusion, illusion, which will eventually lead to a mental contusion. You dig what I'm saying? Right? Right? Let's use an example that we always talking about, folks. Let's use the dear good brother Tupac Amaru Shakur. Shout out to Pac, man. Pac's birthday was sometime recent, if I'm not mistaken. He's a Gemini. Right, we just left out of Gemini season. We right in Cancer right now, but let's talk about a Gemini, right? For a minute. Talk about a particular Gemini that everybody knows. Everybody knows that brother Tupac Amaru Shakur. You dig what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with that. Let's deal with the energy. We're not talking about the individual. Let's deal with the energy, because your individual energetic signature comes out in everything that you do, right? So if you are in fact on this path of enlightenment, you want that to be expressed through your creative works. You want that to be expressed through your communication. You want that to be expressed, right? You want your authenticity to be expressed, right? So that people know who you are, right? Maya Angelou, what'd she say? When someone tells you who they are, believe them. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, Mike. Somebody tells you who they are, believe them. But my question is, should we believe you when you tell us who you are? Pac told us who he was, right? One lyric comes to mind. Disillusioned lately, I've been really wanting babies. Don't trust my lady. Scared to see a part of me that's always shady. Right? And don't get it fucked up. Okay? Let me just say that again. Don't get it fucked up. Introspection is cool. Speaking over yourself is cool. But if it is not going to incite, inspire, instill, right? Transformation, then what you doing, my friend? What you doing? You just playing around, right? You just playing around. You like them people that go to Planet Fitness and they ain't really lifting no weights. They ain't really working out, right? They holding up the machine. They going through the movements. They form, you know what I mean? Like there's the proper way to do things when it comes to foundational things, okay? I'm not talking about a person who knows their way around body mechanics and, you know, proper form, exercise and all this stuff. I'm talking about the neophyte. You dig what I'm saying? A lot of people refer to the Matrix, but we forget that part. His name, the main character's name was Neo, right? And then, you know, all the deep motherfuckers are like, yeah, you know, backwards, that's the one, and that's the Christos energy and all that good stuff. Well, guess what? It also stood for neophyte, right? Neophyte. What's a neophyte? A neophyte is the new initiate. He or she that is new to something, doesn't really have the knowledge, right? They're the new initiate into the mystery school, right? The apprentice, so to speak. That's what we all have to be when we get into this path, man. We get on this path. You the apprentice. You the rookie, right? So what's going to be the difference between you, rookie, right, and becoming the pro that you want to be, is that while you in your rookie phase, you already see yourself not only as a champion, right, but as the goddamn MVP. That's right. Look, y'all know how I get down, right? I say it over and over again. Stop looking at these people as if they can't be used for the purposes of elevating your game, right? Don't lust after what they do. Don't lust after what they have. Don't marvel after what they can do, because guess what? You can do that shit too. Yeah, they call them stars. But guess what? Sly Stone told me a long time ago, every nigga is a star, right? Question is, how bright are you going to shine, right? We got several stars, right? We got several stars. The reason, or the thing that makes our central sun star, right? Sun, soul, whatever. I ain't going to get into all that. What makes our central sun so important is because even though supposedly it's 93 million miles away, right? It's bright, it's strong, it's everlasting, it's self-igniting, right? Self-igniting. He's a self-starter. Ain't nobody got to, cut the power light back on and shit every day, right? He has a direct path that he makes, throughout the year, right? And believe it or not, the sun is in a constant cycle of death, birth, and regeneration, right? I just spoke about the solstice a few minutes ago. Solstice started on the 21st of June. Sun's at its height, right? At its strongest, at its strength, so to speak. What's the message, right? What's the message? There are going to be some times where you're going to be at your highest height. Your intuition going to be popping, right? Your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, all that shit. Your connection to source is going to be evident. It's going to be everything. You're going to feel vital. You're going to feel vigorous, rigorous, all that shit. You're going to feel it. And then winter's going to come. Winter's going to come. Right? Winter's gonna come, man. It's gonna get cold. It's not gonna be as bright. Day gonna get shorter, right? Sleep pattern might get a little messed up. Certain areas is gonna be surrounded in snow, right? A lot of darkness, right? A a lot of depression, a lot of feeling down. 222, I say. A lot of feeling down. Right? But if you haven't gotten into the daily operation, the daily practice, the daily routine, foundational things that you need to do to work on that main component called the mind, because the mind is all, then my friend, you are going to be in bad shape. I don't care what season it is. I don't care what season it is. So allow myself to reintroduce myself and say, hey man, I come to give you encouragement. Right? I'm not telling you that I have all the answers. I'm not telling you that I have any answers. Guess what? I got the answers that work for me. Right? I can merely suggest, point to. I can't tell you what to see. Right? Only you can do that. Right? I can't tell you what to see. I can tell you where to look. Right? And I'm telling you, look within. Look within. It sounds cliche. It sounds very simple. It sounds very elementary. Guess what? It is. It is. It is. It is. It is. It is. I cannot repeat that enough. When you get into other facets of metaphysics, other facets of esoteric teachings, other facets of occultism, guess what you're going to find out? It's not that hard. Everything is simple. More simple than we think. We begin to fuck up and continue to fuck up when we take out the simplistic nature of it all. Right? The simplistic nature of it all. Right? Nature follows a pattern. Study nature. Nature follows a very specific, right? Very specific pattern. Through and through, to a T. Right? The seasons follow a very specific pattern. Through and through, to a T, expressing the true nature of order, right? Order, rhythm, right? In our daily lives. In our daily lives. Observing without any intention to criticize, judge, right, is going to facilitate that inner dwelling of knowledge, right? It's going to cause that internal spark, that internal flame, what Graham Hancock refers to as the divine spark. That's going to make that shit get that much larger and turn into a blazing inferno, right? Right? I know a lot of energy workers and, Reiki enthusiasts and things of that nature refer to fire energy as masculine energy. That's that Mars energy. But guess what? There's a mental fire. There's a mental aspect to fire, right? Because one of the main components of fire is what? Air. Hold on. I'm preaching good. Yeah, clap that up. Yeah. Yeah, air. Right? Matter of fact, you give more air to a fire, it grows. Air, mental energy, mental fire. Okay? Once again, I came to encourage y'all, man. Because we in this thing together. We really are. Right? I'm not talking to the quote-unquote masses. Right? The master teacher, Bobby Hemmett, taught me what? The masses are asses. Anytime you see a large group of people moving in the same direction, something fucked up about to happen most of the time. Right? But that's because as a society, we haven't collectively broken out of the firm gorilla grip, kung fu grip of our lower nature, our lower mind. Right? That shit hard. And we feeling it all right now because we are deep into, you know what I'm saying, Cancer season, right? The solstice, more light hitting the planet, more magnified, right? We're seeing all this chaos all around us. And many of us who are starting our spiritual journey post-COVID. I said it, post-COVID, man, we messed up. A lot of us. We messed up. But once again, the simplistic truth, the simplistic nature of it all is sometimes hard to fathom because it's hard to get rich. It's hard to get rich, right? It's hard to find love. It's hard to find time. It's hard to get in shape, right? It's hard to make money. It's hard to do X, Y, and Z because most of the time we're trying to acquire those things based off our false ego identities. Once again, the thoughts and views expressed on the Dignified Bastard podcast are mine and mine alone. You ain't got to believe none of this shit. You dig what I'm saying? I don't want you to. I really don't. You ain't got to believe none of it. But I challenge you, right? I challenge you, right? I challenge you to continue on this path and keep the same mind. I challenge you to continue to keep the same mind and think that somehow, some way, magically, mystically, majestically, things are going to automatically, mysteriously line up for your greatest good. I challenge you to do that. Right? Let me know how that goes for you. All right? And with that being said, let's take a break. Talk amongst your goddamn self. I'll be right back. Yes. We back. Back from the break. Back from the break. All right, let's camp off this wonderful episode. All right. Let's cap off this wonderful episode. Right? It's very informative, encouraging, inspiring episode. All right, with a few points. Right? Few points. Because once again, we're referring to mentalism, principle of mentalism, right? encouragement. Your mentality is a huge part of that. On this particular path of enlightenment, mental transmutation, okay? Mental transmutation is going to be the daily behavior, the daily operation, the daily behavior, the daily operation is mental transmutation. Change the way you see things, see the way things change. All right. So, once again, my suggestions, right? My suggestions are merely just tools and assets to kind of help you on this path, right? Dealing with mental transmutation. The universe is mental, all is mind. Number one, right? Some of my own personal tips that I use. All right. Number one, find a deity that you connect to. All right. Find a deity that you connect to. All right. Now, many spiritual teachers and advisors tell folks, if you're male, you might want to first and foremost find a deity which represents masculine energy, right? Others might say, if you're a female, connect to a deity that, of course, embodies feminine energy. What I say is, whatever you are magnetically drawn to, right? Got some sisters out here who are feminine, but they have in their actions through their daily lives, they may be more active, which is a aspect, right? More so connected to masculine energy, right? But holistically speaking, there is an aspect of feminine energy, right? Which is very active as well. So whatever you're drawn to, right? I would advise initially, if you identify as female, make that energetic connection a female feminine deity, vice versa for the males. You identify initially with your own expression, right? Go that route first. If you're a male, for example, a good deity to connect to, especially if you're a father, husband, would be Asar, okay? Osiris, right? Same thing with females. If you are a mother, Aset, also known as Isis, would be the female feminine deity, right, to connect to. But once again, go into counsel with your spirit, right? See where you are led. If you are led to go in those directions, so be it. Great. If not, there is a plethora of deities and pantheons to refer to as far as looking up deities is concerned. Depending on where you are in your knowledge of these deities as well as those spiritual pantheons, that is going to make the difference, right? If you've never heard of Inanna, right? If you've never heard of Ishtar, if you've never heard of Bastet or Sekhmet or hell, Palm Bagheera, if you never heard of these deities, go with the ones that you know about. You know, you might not know of any of them. You might just know what Gaia is, right? The earth itself is of a feminine energetic signature, right? So if you want to just connect with Daughter Earth or Mother Earth, you can do that as well. You know what I mean? There's no limit. The only limit to this thing, and you probably heard it before, is your imagination. You dig what I'm saying? That's true. That's totally true. The only limit is your imagination, right? Don't let nobody try to hustle you, you know what I mean, telling you that you can't contact or use whatever means you need to add to your path of enlightenment, all right? Number 2, right? On the Junkyard Jedi surefire way to keep yourself encouraged. Affirmations. Yes. Yeah. Affirmations, man. I was on Twitter the other day. I think it was like 2 days ago. And man, RIP, rising power to the comedian, young brother by the name of Teddy Ray. Teddy Ray, you know, was kind of like an internet comedian. I don't want to, you know, disrespect him or anything like that. His legacy, his work, but not a lot of people knew about this brother. But he recently made transition. He was one of the members of what is that? Something digital media, all deaf digital media, something like that. Anyway, brother was a comedian, real funny brother. But he had a clip of some of his comedy that he did online that kind of go viral, where he was acting like he was a reverend at a church, and he was saying that, you know, if you just say that I'm that nigga 3 times a day, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, Mike. If you just say I'm that nigga 3 times a day, you know what I'm saying? Then God is going to add to that. You dig what I'm saying? Affirmations, man. If you just say, hey, I'm grateful, right? You begin there. If you just say that I am love, I am abundance, I am worthy, right? Just starting there, right? 10 times a day, whenever you get a chance, whenever you find yourself with idle time. It doesn't take a whole lot. See, once again, the simplicity of this thing, the simplistic nature of all of this, right? The simplistic nature of all of this does not go unnoticed, right? But at the same time, it does. We think that it's some type of magic pill, the most of us, especially when we start out on this path, right? Even when we're curious about this path, right? Before we even set out on it, while we are on it sometimes, especially in the beginning, when we're looking for that encouragement, right? We're looking for a guru, a sage, a teacher, a certain philosophy, right? Or ideology or methodology, right? That is going to automatically just make us ascend a lot faster. I got some bad news. Well, I'm not going to say bad news. I'm going to say good news. Got some news for you. That shit don't happen, man. Right? The shit it's not going to happen that way. You know, that is one of the quote unquote dealings of falling into this dense reality, right? The inner spell that you cast is going to create the external magic, right? The magic is the material manifestation of the internal magic, right? So, affirmations. I'm that nigga. I'm that nigga, man. 3 times a day. Shit, fuck it. Start there. Number three on the Junkyard Jedi's surefire way to keep yourself encouraged on this path. Quiet time, folks. Quiet time. You can call it meditation. You can call it genuflection. You can call it whatever you want. Introspection. You can call it getting with the man in the mirror. Shut out the mic. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to need it, right? Everybody needs it. I don't care, what your zodiac sign is. I don't care what your life path number is. I don't care what your soul urge number is. And I don't care about none of that stuff. You need quiet time, right? To go inside. The extent of the external journey will be indicative of the internal one, right? You make your external journey a lot harder when you don't realize that it's not just an outside thing, right? You don't do it for rewards or any type of fanfare, right? You do it for you, right? And you might get confused, or you might say, hey, if I'm doing it for me, how is it a service to others? Well, I can't take care of my family if I can't take care of myself. If I can't provide my own self with the very necessities that I need, right? I won't be able to do that for them. And one of the first ways, right? There's a caveat to this. One of the first ways to begin down that path is to be honest with yourself. You want to be more real? You want to be more authentic? Be honest with yourself first and foremost. Okay? See, that kind of rolled right into number 4. Honest introspection without judgment will always lead to enlightenment, folks. Honest introspection, right? Challenge your desires, challenge your appetites, right? Your wants and your needs, flip-flop them. See if they still have the same influence and impact in your life, right? Flip-flop them, right? That want of being a millionaire turn into a need. Is it still as incessant as it is as a need? As a want, it might have been something that was on your brain like all the time. But when you flip it, you change the position, you change the position of yourself. Now you can see really and truly, you know what? Maybe I don't need to be CEO. Maybe I don't need to be a person constantly seeking control, seeking power, exerting power, so on and so forth. You dig what I'm saying? Honest introspection, number 4. Number 5. Yeah. Number 5. Grant yourself grace and compassion. A lot of us don't have a lot of compassion for ourselves, right? A lot of us don't have compassion for ourselves. You might be feeling internally guilty about the fact that you like some good weed. You know what I'm saying? You might feel internally guilty about that. Then you find out that guilt is a useless emotion, right? How you turn that around? I'm going to tell you. You begin to ask for understanding on your desires. That's how you challenge them. You don't try to just go cold turkey and whatnot. I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z, right? That's just like the man who says, you know what? I'm not going to lose my temper no more, right? So he sets out on this, you know what I'm saying, quote unquote, impossible mission to not lose his temper anymore. And what he does, right, he creates a perpetual cycle of denial, right? By doing that, instead of understanding initially what it is that angers him. Why is he angry all the time? Why is he angered all the time? Right? So he just decided not to lose his temper anymore, and it don't work like that. You have to understand something first before you can move past it. All right? All right, number 6. Yeah. Number 6 on the Junkyard Jedi. Mental transmutation assistance list. Number 6, until you understand the purpose of your emotions, refuse to be controlled by them. Are you the one at the controls of your emotional roller coaster, or are you just a hopeless passenger? Emotions. What are emotions? Emotions are energy in motion, right? This whole thing is about what? Energy, frequency, and vibration. Say it with me now. Energy, frequency, vibration. But Junkyard Jedi, I thought you said that the first of the 7 laws of Tahuti, or 7 universal principles, are the universe is mental, all is mind. How? What does that have to do with the emotions? Well, my friend, right? The great mind you have. You asked a great question. What does that have to do with emotions? It has a lot to do with emotions, because what? Our emotions, just like I said, are energy in motion. Your thoughts are going and coming, going and coming, going and coming in rapid succession. So at some point, thoughts and feelings are going to intersect. So if you learn how to understand your emotions, you won't be in the constant battle of trying to control them. You should not be trying to control them, but manage them. Like I said, are you the one at the controls of your emotional roller coaster, or are you just a hopeless passenger, or do you own the goddamn amusement park? I don't know about you. Can't speak for you. Don't want to. I wish I could in some cases, but I can only speak for me. And for me, right? I want to be the CEO. I want to own the amusement park. I don't want to be victim, be slave, if you will, to my emotions. You know, I'm a huge fan of quotes. One of my favorite ones. I'm not even 100% sure who said it, but it goes a little something like, you know, emotions make great servants, but horrible masters. You know what I'm saying? They make great servants, talking about emotions, but horrible masters. Only you cannot be a slave to your emotions on some Smokey the Bear type shit. Yeah, don't do it, man. Don't do it. But before you can refuse to be controlled by them, you have to understand them, right? We all have them. We all We all have these human qualities, personalities, attributes that we have to understand, right? When you understand, right, the very nature of your emotions, right? Because what they do on different levels of who you are, right? Because we have our lower nature, right, and our higher nature. On our lower nature, right, once again, we are subject to the wrath, the constant roller coaster motion of our emotions, right? Subject to that, we can't determine where we end up. We just kind of are at the whim of our emotions, and that's a horrible way to be in until we become what? More mature. Once more mature, moving into our higher mind, we take those same emotions, right? We take those same emotions to a different degree, to a higher level, and we understand the purpose of them and how to utilize them for our benefit, right? That's how you do that. How you do that there. Alabama, Mississippi, shorty. We don't care. All right, number seven, right? This is a 7 year. So I stopped at 7. Of course, you can shuffle these around and intermingle these however you need to, if you dare. It's totally up to you. Number 7, above everything, just simply desire to be free. Ooh, I think they mad at me. Cause they like, yo, it can't be that easy, son. Can't be that easy. Yes, it is. Simply just desire to be free. Free of what? Free of the madness. Right? When you desire to be free, you no longer, right, fear death. Because you understand that death is a part of this process. You are going through death or rebirth, regeneration, right? All the time. You just don't recognize it. You just don't understand it, right? The death, life, birth, rebirth, cycle, all that good jazz, it's a part of your existence as a soul, as an illuminated one, right? Asar had to die in order to give life. He died a physical death, still was able to conceive, and in his death became what? God of the underworld, who was over the harvest. So even in his death, he was able to bring forth life, right? Even in his death, he was able to bring forth life. That's the personification of the Immaculate Conception. All right. So let's add on to some of that, right? Trust yourself while trusting the process. All right. Trust yourself, man, while trusting the process. It's going to work out for you. No need to be fearful. Learn your own true nature, right? Everything has a true nature, right? Everything has a true nature. Learn what yours is. Set your intention for everything. Like I said, when your feet hit the floor in the morning, right? Set your intention for the day, right? Today, I show gratitude to you, Spirit, for allowing me to be on the other side of the veil, right, in the physical world. I thank you that I see you, Spirit, move through each and every facet of my interactions and endeavors today, right? I also thank you, and I'm graciously grateful that I move with an energy of compassion, kindness, and courage. That's my intention. That's what I set for today and every day when my feet hit the floor, man. Compassion, kindness, courage. All right? Become what you're looking to attract. Okay? Become what you're looking to attract, right? You want to be abundant? Start calling yourself abundant. Start being thankful for the abundant life. Start saying that you attract abundance. Guess what? You will become abundant. And last, but show enough not least, deify your goddamn self. Right? Deify yourself. Once you become solidified in your thinking, knowing that you are God, generator, operator, and destroyer, can't nothing take you out at this point, right? See the God in you. See the divine in you, right? Stop ignoring it, right? Right? Stop ignoring your potential, right? Embrace who you were meant to be, not who you were told that you are. Think about the snake, right? We always talk about Kundalini energy. Think about the snake shedding its skin multiple times throughout its life cycles, right? Every time a snake sheds its skin, he gets rid of it. It's gone. Couldn't even tell you where it is. Butterfly has no memory of being a caterpillar, right? You don't remember being a sperm cell. You know what I'm saying? You don't remember that shit. No, I know. Anyway, man. That's my time, man. It's been an hour and a half. I hope this has been enlightening, enriching, enjoyable, educational, as well as entertainment for you, right? For your soul. Today is, once again, June the 29th, Wisdom Born, right? 2023. I am your friendly neighborhood junkyard Jedi, and you have been in tune to the one and only Dignified Bastard Podcast. Man, enjoy your strong end, right? Find something to love, and I hope that something is you. And I'll talk to y'all next time, man. Peace out. Yes.